Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Real Tommy Unleashed on the IQ Podcast Network out of Coronado, California. Before we get started, I want to thank the sponsor of my show, South Cal 4 LLC Realty out of Lake Elsinore, California. Today, I'm really happy to have Scott Robinson with me. Scott Robinson is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, and he's the director of mortgage lending at U.S. Homeownership Loans, which works on providing mortgages for veterans for their homes. Scott, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your program?
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. Man, it's great to be here. I'm just wondering what the history is with the banjo music in the startup. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. But yeah, that's pretty entertaining. Hey, yeah. So thanks for having me on. Like Tommy said, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I've been in the mortgage lending space for over 30 years now. We are about 10 or a little over 10 years ago. A little organization called VA Rep, Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, came onto the scene, and I gravitated to it. And it's just an organization that helps educate veterans, lenders, title reps, realtors on how to best use that VA home loan, which is the best option for our veterans, right?
Right.
So fast forward, now we are today, Tommy, and I'm sitting in front of you, and about a year ago, our founder decided we probably needed to figure out a way to better serve our veterans through the home ownership space. And we've decided to go on a little venture to take it full circle. We're going to educate them, teach the realtors, teach everybody involved in the process, and then we're going to pull them into our space where we can navigate that VA home loan with the best of them. And we take that veteran and from start to finish and make them homeowners. That's kind of where we're at today, Tommy.
Wow, that's really awesome. I remember when I got my first home loan was through the VA. I was a Vietnam era veteran. This was hate to date myself in 1978, and I had to navigate through the VA system by myself. And I knew nothing about it. I just knew I didn't have to have a down payment at the time, which was big. And so I utilized it, but I know it was vastly underutilized by people. I knew veterans who didn't even know there was a VA home loan system assistance or program for them. And I'm glad to see that you utilize that and take people through the process, because especially young kids today, it's got to be really confusing with everything else that's going on in their lives, coming back from being deployed and, maybe coming back injured, whatever, they need help getting established in homes.
Yeah. That's one of the big things we're trying to, as an organization, deal with that. And I'm sure your transition from service to civilian was a lot different than mine, just like as the guys and the gals are doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
The piece we're trying to interject into there is there's no piece of the exit that explains to them their true benefit, and one of those being the home ownership thing, right? And we're doing everything we can to make that happen. There are so many myths out there that every day we're dispelling and battling and trying to teach and educate the professionals, and that's the hardest thing. And not to knock on you, Vietnam era guys, it's just things have changed a lot since then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back then, you can only use it one time. There was a lot of stipulations.
Right.
There's been a whole change of that, and there is so much misinformation out there that we're here to change. And like I said earlier, we can help that veteran navigate the VA home loan process very relatively simple. I mean, the myths out there are amazing. So just because, let me go back to my original statements. I've been doing this a long time, right? And I have not yet done a single transaction or been part of a transaction that has been exactly the same. The exact credit score, the exact same credit score, the exact same income, the exact same amount of debt, and the exact property. There's so many variables when you're purchasing a home, that if you don't have the person behind you to help you navigate it, it can be a mess. It really can. And it's not that the VA is any more difficult than a conventional loan or an FHA loan. It's just people have the mindset that it's different and vastly expensive and vastly hard to get through the process. So we're here to help, man. You can find us, get a hold of a local chapter, get them call us directly or whatever we can do. We are here to help.
Yeah, that's great. I've been to I've been involved in the veteran community and helping working with different foundations and that over the years. And I've been to I don't know how many seminars where they will have somebody from the realty world explain getting a VA loan, but they're doing it from their perspective as a realtor, and their intentions might be good. They might be a veteran or not, family member, but still seems daunting. And by the time you get through that, you're kind of mentally wore out.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have one place where you can go to, and a group will help you get through this. I'm a member of the Legion and the VFW, and some other groups too. I'm sure you are as well, and they help you with the VA healthcare system in education. Similar, if you have a question, you call them up and they help you with it. So I think this is fantastic, and to let our vets out there, the people that watch the show across the country, and we have some overseas too, is that this organization is there to help you.
Yeah.
And so how do people get a hold of you? Do they go through the VA rep process?
Yeah, we have our own. We have a mortgage division up underneath the nonprofit. It's called USA Home Loans, USA Homeownership Loans. You can find us on the web at myhomemtg.com. We're all over social media. We're all over that crazy TikTok, whatever, FaceTime, whatever it is, right? We're all over that, right? So, yeah. So
that's for the younger vets.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there's 22 million veterans in our country, right? And the biggest population is your population, the Vietnam era guys. And then we got, as they come through, it's funny because the Vietnam guys, I mean, I love you guys, right? But you're more hands-on. You're more like, I want to touch the guy. I want to feel it. I want to talk to him. I want to go meet him, all that stuff. Our younger veterans, right? Our younger veterans, our younger veterans, they want to okay, let's check them out. Let's look at their face talk, their TikTok, whatever it is, right? All that social media stuff. Check out our website. And look, we have tons of information. There are video library on there. What's a CD? What's a loan estimate? What does it look like to go through a purchase contract? There's so much information there. And look, we would love to help you, obviously, but if nothing else, we can give you a piece of information that you can take back to your community or back to your agent or back to your loan officer. I mean, homeownership's the key, right? We want veterans to own homes. Mm-hmm. That's what we want, and we're here to help.
Yeah, and your the organization seems to be so multifaceted. I have been so fortunate through our mutual friend Kim, to have met other people who are with VA Rep and with Vet Cares and all this, and you're all working together under the same umbrella, but all different branches that do different things, but they all have the same goal, which is, I just think it's fantastic that you're that organized, because God bless all of the groups out there that want to help veterans, and they set up different types of operations, but they're not coordinated like you are. You are for home lending and that. I think you guys are the place to go to. One-stop shop.
Home lending. Look, education's where it's at. We want to help educate that veteran. But the reality is, we're here for home. We'll help anybody get a home. I mean, our motto is home ownership for all. It really is. But we're really good at veterans. We're veterans serving veterans, and we got, you know what I mean. So that's, just because you're not a veteran, you can't call us. We can navigate through any of the home loan processes, right?
Right.
We're really good at veterans. We talk better with veterans. We understand the veteran need. And like you said, the organization is set up to support everything for the veteran. Home ownership, financial literacy, HUD counseling, and then we got the wellness programs where we have Vet Cares, where they're doing some great stuff to support the community, and it all feeds together, right? And it nourishes our communities, so our veterans are more comfortable and they feel like they belong again, right? I don't know if you go through the same things I go through, where I really miss the brotherhood, right? I miss the fellas. I miss the hanging out with the guys, and I think that what we're creating is creating that space where that veteran can still feel that camaraderie and understand that we're here to take care of them. So we're a great spot to support that.
Oh, absolutely. And us as veterans, we tend to gravitate towards those groups because of our military training.
Yeah.
And the relationships that we had in the service. There's a lot of things I think we can all say that we didn't care about the military, but there's one thing we all are the same on, and that's our brothers.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters mean everything to us, right? We'll make fun of you. We'll make fun of the Army just like the Army makes fun of the Marine Corps because we're dumb and we ate crayons. I get it. That's part of the thing, right? But if a back's against the wall and we're trying to figure out something together, we're all in it together. And it's not that we don't not exclude non-veterans, but I mean, we just have a certain bond. I mean, we sat and decided to serve our country, and it's just a mindset that we all have, which is fantastic. It's probably one of the better brotherhoods and sisterhoods we can ever be. You can go to college, you can join a fraternity or sorority and all that stuff. That's great. I mean, if that's the path they took, that's great. I'm not saying that's a bad or good. I'm just saying us as veterans, we chose our path, and we decided to do that and serve our country. And at some point, we all decided, hey, we'll put our life on the line for this country, right? So now, after that, we've gotten out, we've been our warriors, we've done our thing. Now we need some help, and we go through that time period in our life with those people, and we get out, we get a little lost, right? We don't know what to do, and we're just a spot to help you guys, help that veteran community figure it out. Whether it be financial literacy, whether it be home ownership, whether it be something that's you just need a break and you need somewhere to go or need a hand up. We're here to help. So you're right. The organization is an amazing, amazing place. So we'd love to have as many people call us, talk to us, email us, whatever. I'm just not good at smoke signals, so I'm not good. Don't send smoke signals. But
or TikTok.
Or the Navy, where they flash the lights. I don't even know what that's called. Signal operators. Right. Yeah, not very good at that. So we'd love to help you. I mean, thank you to Tommy to having us on the show to kind of get the word out and let everybody know what we're about, what we're doing. So, yeah, thanks, Tommy.
Oh, you bet. There's so many. One of the things I try to bring through the show is it's not just specifically veterans, but being a vet, and I tend to lean that way, with having programs like this and have somebody who does something extraordinary that helps the community, that helps people, that helps other vets, and highlighting them and letting people know about it. Because there's honestly, there's some channels in that unless you're a big celebrity or something, they're not going to talk to you or give you the airtime and have you out there. So we want to have that opportunity to present you our whole network. And we have a lot of other shows. They all tend to lean towards something like that, whether it be law enforcement, medical, or whatever. We each have our little niche that we do. And we're helpful to have this platform. One thing I wanted to say about the brotherhood, how we banter back and forth between one another, which is kind of part of the fun. But I can remember having a young troop come in, and comes up to me. He goes, Sarge, I got to ask you something. I said, what is it? And he says, everybody's teasing me. Am I doing something wrong? I said, no, that means they like you. You worry when they don't say anything to you.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah. That's it exactly. I mean, it's a different kind of brotherhood. And our brothers and sisters, that it's just different. And it's hard to explain unless you've been in. And you and I know that what it's like to sit next to somebody and have and be part of the service. And it's
Yeah.
It's just different. It's just different. And you know what? And they're heroes to me. Anybody that's going to do that is a hero, and they deserve the treatment and the help that they desire, and we think we're the spot for that, especially in the mortgage space, the mortgage lending piece. I'm telling you, man, I would say that we are probably the top, if not the top, of helping that veteran navigate that process. And it can be daunting, right? And we're just, like I said, we have some amazing people on staff to help direct that and go through any challenges that veteran borrower might have and fix them and move forward, because homeownership is the key.
Absolutely. How big is your staff?
Oh man, we're I bet we have. I would safe to say we combined all together. We got 1,000 years of mortgage experience behind us, right? So
That's awesome.
if I haven't seen anything, some of my counterparts probably have, and we can get through it. I guarantee it.
I know you have chapters all over the country.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was I don't know if you're involved with the what Kim was telling me. She's working on getting a establishing the title program for your home ownership for veterans
Yeah.
and that. And she's been
We have
working.
homeowners. We have the home loan process. We have title process. We have insurance that we can do. There's just a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just an option, right? Check us out. We may have something that will save you money or will help you navigate to a better life, right? Really is what we're here for.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's so commendable. Do you ever work with active duty personnel?
Active duty guys are the ones I really like to talk to the most, because the VA home loan has changed quite a bit. And these active duty guys don't understand that they can go into a duty station, buy a property, and then if they get orders out, let's say they come, I'm in here in Nevada, they go to the base here, and 4 years later they get the orders to Texas, they buy another house using their VA home loan in Texas, they get transferred again, and by the time they've done their 20 years, there's a good chance they might own a couple or three properties that when their time is done, they can either keep renting them and have that as supplemental income, or they can sell them, buy an RV, and go get lost up in Canada or Alaska, right? Whatever they want to do. There are so many things that you can do with that. So the active duty guys are the ones that really don't understand this thing. And I'll tell you, a year and a half ago, I met some young airmen, and they were talking about home ownership and what it looked like. So we took 4 of those airmen that were here at Nellis, and we put them into this giant home, because we took all 4 of their eligibility for the VA home loan, all 4 of them for their income and all their credit, and we figured it all out. They were able to buy a massive home where they were all versus living on base and living in this beautiful home off base, and it wasn't costing any more than it would cost them to live anywhere else. So pretty cool stuff that can happen. Another one is the active duty guys. They might be able to buy a fourplex. See, a fourplex is a very easy program for the veteran, because it is, we use the income from the other 3 units to offset the payment. So if that veteran can only let's say they qualify for $250,000, and the fourplex might be $500,000, $500,000, right? We can take the income from those other 3 properties and help that offset the payment, and the veteran can buy that. Now we got an income producing property, and the veteran is in their own home. So there's so many things that the VA home loan will help with, right?
That is truly impressive. I didn't realize I always wondered about, when you got somebody who's been at a base for 4 years, they buy a house. And I always thought to myself, is that just seems to be such a bad thing because you got to sell it. You get transferred, you get another one when you get there. But if they can keep them, rent them out as income property, they're building themselves a fantastic real estate nest egg when they retire
Yep.
or get out of the service.
Yep.
That is something that I can see really needs to be stressed to these people on active duty, because
Yep.
I don't know if it's changed. I pray that it does, but I know when I was on active duty and even when I went into the reserves after active duty, we never talked about this stuff. You didn't. When we ETS'd, they gave us our DD 214 and our ticket home, and it was like we booked out the door, and
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this, and a lot of it we had to learn. Some of it was through our vet service officers when we went to school or whatever, but that's fantastic. I wish I would have known about a program like that, but I don't think they had that during the Vietnam era home loans, did they? They
No,
probably
they
couldn't
didn't
do
have. That's
that.
all been changed.
Yeah,
Bush changed all that stuff. It made it much easier and made it some change. The VA home loan is not a lender ran program. That is a program directed by Congress. That's
right.
it. So, and the VA handbook is what we sell and navigate and utilize to to make the VA home loan come together. The issue you see out there is that other lending platforms, and I won't name names, they may have criteria. You might have to have a certain credit score. You might have this much money in the bank. I can tell you 100% that is not the VA guideline. Those are called blender overlays. And the
Okay.
lender makes that criteria on top of that, what the VA home loan actual criteria is. So yes, it's navigation of this process is super important. Getting back to your point of getting out of the service, right? So you said there's a point of one where they're like, here's your stuff, thank you, goodbye, right? And then there's a point where, okay, like for me, example, I was ready to get out, right? I'm just like, they want me to do all these classes. I just go to them like, okay, great. I got an interview next week. I don't even really care, right? Because we're not in the time or the headspace to bring all that stuff in. We got other things. We're moving on with our life, right?
We want to get
So
home.
yeah, we're done, right? So there's a lot of that stuff out there, and we're trying to, even for me, it took me years later to even identify, which that's my own headspace. I had to get through all that, right?
I hear you.
But yeah, and that's some stuff we're trying to do as an organization is bring that more to the front, right? When that veteran's ready, we want to have them a spot to go to. And like you said, the other organizations that you're a part of, they're a great spot. They're just don't have the ability to navigate the VA home loan, right?
Absolutely.
So we want to be that piece. And look, our brothers and sisters at the VFW and all those guys, they're doing fantastic stuff. They're just not focusing on the home ownership piece.
No, they don't. And I'm glad that your organization, like I said, does do that. I just find it really fascinating, the active duty aspect, because I always look back at when we first went in the military. We were kids. Really, we were just kids, and you don't think about these things. You don't think about them at all. And one of the important things I took up in talking to one of your leaders was about the financial literacy program,
Yeah.
which I thought that is really important. And I was wondering how that applied to like active duty people, because I saw it happen so much, and I know you did. Every vet saw it. How many E1s or E2s got married right before basic, right after basic training, and you saw that writing on the wall what was going to happen to them.
Yeah.
They're broke, and financial literacy is so important, especially if you want to put your money into a home. You have to get yourself in that situation where you're solvent. I don't think you have to be with the VA program like 100% perfect, but you have to show some responsibility, don't you? That you can handle the mortgage in that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I
I
mean,
had
to your point, real quick, I'm going to try to cut you off. Is
yeah.
a lot of us went in the service as very young men and women,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of us didn't have a lot of forethought to. Well, I'm going to go ROTC. I want to be an officer. That a lot of us just like, you know what, I want to serve. Let's do it. Here's the point I'm trying to make is that we're very young at that point. We're 18,
Right.
17, 18, right? So the first few years of our life, mom and dad have taken care of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now we join the military, and guess what? For most of us, for a lot of us, first sergeant took care of us, right?
Absolutely.
Now you go do your 4 years. Now you're 23, 24, 25, and now you're out in the civilian world, and nobody to take care of you. Nobody to help you understand this is how you bank. This is how you save money. This is how you take care of your credit. This is how you go feed yourself. You got to go find a job, right? There's so many things to that. Yeah. So
absolutely,
we want to take that piece. The financial literacy piece comes into effect there because that goes through banking and credit and checkbooks and all that stuff on how to maintain all that stuff, which is key. And I'm not mad at the system. It's just not working correctly because the kids that go in come out as young adults and they still have the who's going to take care of me myself. I'm not saying everybody. Let me make that clear. Not saying everybody feels like that, but a lot of us that did that, that's how we came out the other side. And even the career guys, not bagging on the career guys, they've had the military to take care of them all their life. Now they're in their 40s and they have to realize all this stuff. The financial literacy piece is super important. Now I know the military and our government is doing what they can to make sure that the NCOs and all that stuff, they get all that proper training.
Right.
And I'm sure that's transitioned quite a bit. But I mean, I look at the guys that were your era that did their 20 years and still got out and still have the financial literacy issue. They didn't know how to balance a checkbook, right? So there's a lot to be said about our financial literacy piece. And we transition that, right? Okay, if you're ready financially, let's make you a homeowner because we just discussed that home ownership is the quickest path to financial independence. You buy a house today, and 30 years from now, it's going to be worth, with a caveat, it's going to be worth more than what you paid for it, and you're going to make a little money. So that's really where we're focused and want to help. So the financial literacy piece is gigantic for us.
Awesome. How long does the process take if you got a veteran wants to get into the VA home loan system? How long does the process take to go through the approval? And I know the VA home loan system isn't the lender; they just guarantee whoever the lending institution, they guarantee the loan. But is it vary by organization or?
No, let's talk about that real quick before we get way off on topic. So the VA home loan, I guarantee you every lender out there wants to do VA home loans because once they do the loan and they send it to the VA for guarantee, the VA guarantees the loan to the lender. So let's just say ABC Bank does the loan. They send it to VA for guarantee. VA says, yep, we guarantee it. That means that ABC Bank, if that veteran, something happens and they can't make their payment, goes in foreclosure or whatever, ABC Bank gets their money back. So it's not a loss to ABC Bank. It becomes a loss to the VA and their balance sheet.
Right.
So does that make sense? So they don't, the VA does not lend the money. They just guarantee the money.
They guarantee it. Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So the process real quick is, I've met veterans on a Friday and they're a homeowner and 3 weeks later, and there's so many look, the VA home loan, that's another myth. VA home loan takes forever. The appraiser's different. All this other garbage you hear out there is just that garbage. It's a myth. It's not true. Now, things happen. Things happen in the process, and those things can happen in a conventional loan or an FHA loan. They can, right? So, but I literally, we've taken an application on a Friday, looking for a property Saturday, Sunday, go on track contract on Monday, and they're in their house 3 weeks later. It can be that simple.
That's remarkable. I know some lending organizations do like a pre-qualification for a home. Is the VA program do anything like that, or is that
same thing? Pre-qualification is just like any other home loan, right?
Okay.
We sit with them, we review their assets, we review their credit, we review their income, figure out what's qualifiable income, figure out, look, I say it all the time, mortgage is not magic, it's a math problem. It's just a simple math problem. Qualifiable income, credit, and debt. That's it. We look at that. And from there, we can figure out what the maximum house payment can be. And it may be different than what the veteran wants to pay or the future homeowner wants to pay, right? We figure out where they want to be. They want to say they don't want their house to be more than $3,000 a month. We do the math to that and say, okay, your purchase price is this. Here's your pre-approval letter. Go find you a house.
Wow. Okay. That just seems super simple.
The mortgage process can be simple. The things that people you hear around the water cooler or at the dog park or whatever, right? There are just one-off scenarios, right? Look, there's difficulty in mortgage lending, period. But you have the right people helping you, they can help you navigate it. We've gone through so many changes, right? In 2008, and then we had a new regulations put onto us in 2010, and now we've navigated all that stuff, and it's constantly changing, and it can make the mortgage process a little difficult. I mean, there are mandated timeframes that we have to hit, that is out there, and if they don't hit, then we have explaining to do, right, to the government. So it is what it is.
Okay. Are there certain parts of the country that are easier to navigate through than others?
I wouldn't say easier, just different.
Okay.
Rural America is a little different than like where you're at in California, where we have appraisers and everything's real close. Rural America may have an issue with appraisal turn times, and that may cause it to be.
Oh,
if you live, you think about that for a second. If you got an appraiser, let's say you live, your mortgage company is in Kansas City, but you're going to buy way out in rural Kansas, right? And it may be a travel time for the appraiser, which could add more time, right? And different properties require different things. You and I are accustomed to all our houses being on city service, water, power, and sewer. Some of these other houses in rural may have well and septic. You know what I mean? Different set of circumstances for the veteran. All that has to be inspected. And it's not because the VA wants to make it hard for the veteran. They're protecting the veteran. So they want them to know when they're getting into, hey, we want to do a septic inspection because we want to know what's happening. We want you to know that things in good shape or it needs to be replaced, or what the time frame may be, or what it may look, how much longer it needs before it needs to be replaced. So there's everything in place for the VA homeowners to protect that veteran, not to make it difficult for them. We have just like an appraisal. Appraisal is always a big thing. The VA home has what's called MPRs, or minimum property requirements. It has to be inhabitable. It has to meet health and safety measures. And another thing is, we don't want the veteran going into there and then turn around and getting a Home Depot card for another $30,000 to fix it, right? So we want to make sure it's all in good order for that veteran.
Right. Now, I don't know if this is a myth or not, but I remember back when I dealt with my first VA loan was the inspection process, and that I had heard at that time that there were some sellers did not want to deal with anybody that was with the VA because they didn't want to have their properties inspected for sale. Is that still an issue with some things, or?
It's not necessary. It's, matter of fact, in the VA home loan documents, there's one document that go out to the prospective buyer that says, for your protection, get a home inspection. And it gives, they can opt out of it. This, as a buyer, I would be highly questionable. Like, why are they doing that? What are they hiding? They're doing something I don't want to see. Maybe I move on. As a seller, why would I want to take 22 million people out of my pool to buy my house, right? Especially here in Nevada, there's 300,000 veterans. You're going to reduce your exposure as a seller if you say, I'm not going to sell to a veteran. And the funny thing is, the FHA inspection and the VA inspection are almost identical. Very few little tweaks to that.
Interesting.
The only loan program out there that you don't need a home inspection for, or there are requirements of the property, is the conventional loan. They don't. That's a big difference in the conventional loan versus the VA or FHA loan and the inspection.
Well, myself, I would. Yeah. Oh no, it does. It does. I would prefer to have the property inspected and know you're going in without any worries. And,
well, look, we're not experts, right? I'm not a roofer. I'm not a flooring guy. I don't know if I'm going to buy a house. I want somebody to tell me, hey, look, that roof's going to come down in a couple of weeks. Or they poke their head up into the attic and they see burnt rafters. Right? We want to know that. As a buyer, I don't know if I would do that. That's why I pay for the home inspection. There's things that may come up that you don't know. It's there to protect you as the buyer. And you sellers out there, do the right thing. Make sure your properties are up to snuff and you're not pulling the wool over people's eyes. That's my soapbox right there.
No, totally right on that one right there. I just not everybody's scrupulous. So, but that's so now let's say somebody wants to go through your process. You have an online application that they go through, or
like I said earlier, I'll take anything. I'm just not good at smoke signals. If I have to figure that out, I will. But the best place is usahomemtg.com. You can fill out an interest form in there. You can even fill out a full loan application in there. If you're ready and you don't think that you're getting the knowledge that you need is on the other side, and you're like really close, and you want somebody from our network to help take care of you, man, we'll take care of it for sure. And you can find us right there on our website.
Awesome, that's great. Do they? I don't remember now. Do they have a cap on the with the? I know it's like 0 down payment, right? With the VA loan, is there a cap on how high they go on that, or if you get you're not going to get a $5 million property with the no down payment.
This is going to shock you, Tommy. Yes, you can.
Really?
You can. We just went through some legislation that VA rep was at a deep hand in called the Blue Water Bill. Look it up. And now that changed all that. Yep. It changed all that verbiage on how much you can qualify for. Look, if you can make the payment, they're going to do the VA home loan.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That is really amazing.
If you're going to buy a $50 million property, I mean, you got to have some pretty good income to make that payment. If you probably got the money to pay cash for it at that point. I'm just saying, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to finance at that point.
Yeah.
No, that's really awesome. I just find this program very exciting.
Yeah, the Blue Water Bill, check it out. VA rep had a massive hand in directing that language in there to help that ease it for the veteran.
All right, remember that, everybody. Blue Water Bill, look it up. Let's Google it later. That's really cool. Is there anything else that you think needs to be brought up about the program or about what you do and your organization?
Yeah, look, we're here to help. I mean, if nothing else, we'll answer a question. If you don't think you're being told the right thing, or you're thinking this doesn't make sense to me, or I don't understand, and you've Googled it and you still don't understand, we'll help. And if you're having financial issues, we have a program to help you with that too. We have counselors that can help you get your credit in the right track, help you become mortgage ready. And once that becomes that point, our network can definitely help you and make that American dream come true. It's home ownership is where it's at. Listen, you fought for this country. You should own a piece of it. And I'll leave it at that.
Oh boy, that right there is a tagline. I love that. I love that. Is it if you got somebody coming in that and they're worried about their whatever their credit score is, and they want to get a home, and you go through the counseling and stuff like that, can you turn that or help them turn that around? Or I know there's programs, you hear about them all the time.
So there are programs out there, the credit repair, right? They charge for that.
Right.
Guess what? How much it costs it costs to come into our program? Nothing. If you're a veteran, it costs you nothing. If you're a non-veteran and you're trying to use your FHA benefit or use a conventional loan and you still need some help with credit, that's the cost of the credit report. We just pass that through. We have a team that can help you. And I'm telling you, man, I've seen it happen. If the veteran's willing to work and they have the means to fix some things, then we have a source to fix it within weeks, within a month. You can be
wow.
Fixed. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I think that's really important for vets to know about if you got issues with your credit and you want to be a homeowner, this organization can help you if you're willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to put in the work. And that goes with anything, I just
look, things happen to people and we're here to help through that, right? Things happen in their life. And sometimes just have they're like, okay, Scott, look, I screwed up. I need help me, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we're here for.
Wow. I just think that's amazing. I had no idea the extent of what you do. And each time I have somebody else from your organization on, I learned something new about you all. And I think this is so beneficial to tell my viewers and listeners, because we're live, obviously on video here, which will be on YouTube and on our website and things like that. But we're also audio, which is on Spotify, iHeart, and the other streaming services. So what we'll do is in the description for the show, we'll put all your links in there so people can go in there and find them. We're trying to make it as easy as we can for our viewers to follow through and get more information on your organization.
Perfect.
That's really really fantastic. I'm so impressed, and thank you for what you do, what you all do, and it's an honor to meet you and to see how you help other veterans.
Well, the honor is mine, Tommy. Thank you for your service, and if nobody's told you, welcome home, my friend.
Oh, thank you, and welcome home to you also, sir. I'm going to we're going to end now. We're about right at the red mark here. And is there anything you would like to finish up with, Scott, that you would like to add in, or get a couple of minutes here?
We're just veterans trying to help veterans, and we're here to help you if you got any questions. I mean, we're Homeownership for All. We're really good at veterans. Let us help. We have many platforms that you may be able to help out. We may be able to help you out with. So, again, Tommy, thank you again, sir. And what a pleasure it is for me to be here with you.
Oh, well, thank you, Scott. And remember, you can find them on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They're on LinkedIn. And I don't know, do you have a YouTube also, or just?
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. I think so, yeah.
Well, we'll just check. Just Google it and we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's great, Scott. Thank you for so much for being on the show today, and really appreciate you taking the time to meet our viewers. And thank you for your service again. Thank you for what you do, and let's get more vets in homes.
That's right.
Amen.